Nick Majerison here. Welcome to Top Med Talk. Make sure you listen to the end of this podcast where we have a special announcement about how you can have the entire Top Med Talk back catalogue for free. Before that though, today's Top Med Talk is ASA 2018 San Francisco, the Smith's Medical Symposium on Enhanced Recovery. Recorded before a live audience, this Q&A session was at the meeting of the American Society of Anesthesiologists, the ASA, at a specially hosted dinner where those in attendance and the online audience could submit questions. This is part 1 of 6. This piece features Desiree Chappell in conversation with Monty Mython. Have a listen to this.
Top Med Talk. Wow, thank you. So, hi, I'm Monty Mython, Editor-in-Chief of Top Med Talk, and absolutely delighted to be here presenting, I think, the first of one of these types of dinners. Let's call it a live radio show. We're going to have a question and answer session tonight at this dinner at Anesthesiology 2018, the annual meeting of the ASA in San Francisco in the USA. And we've got 2 very special guests who are going to be taking questions during the dinner. At the moment, the folks sitting in the room here, from those listening around the world, have just finished their first course. We're going to get into some questions around the area of enhanced recovery. Then we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back and have another special guest and get into another discussion about enhanced recovery. So Desiree Chappell is going to be our anchor for this evening. She's going to be guiding us through the question and answer. She's Associate Editor and US Lead for Top Med Talk. She has a number of other different titles, including being on the board of the American Society of Enhanced Recovery, and very importantly, the founding co-director of POCO LLC, which is the perioperative coaching company. So Desiree, if I could welcome you to the stage.
Thank you. So we are going to have a wonderful evening. It's going to be very different than what you've probably been experiencing over the last couple days. You're probably ingesting a lot of slides, a lot of different presentations, and we wanted to mix it up a little bit tonight and just do some Q&A and have some open discussion and kind of chats with friends. So we are going to start this evening speaking to my guest tonight that needs no introduction, Professor Monty Mython. And Monty, over the last couple days, we've been discussing something that we are both very passionate about, and there's a lot of interest here in the U.S. in the most recent years, probably the last several to 5 years, enhanced recovery. And that's something that you have had a lot of experience with in your professional career, especially in the UK. Can you tell us just a little bit about what you've done with enhanced recovery?
I thought without actually calling it enhanced recovery, I've been passionate about this whole area of zero tolerance of poor outcomes after elective major surgery for, I think, the whole of my medical career, certainly since I started in anaesthesia too long ago than I'd like to share with the audience. More recently, in 2008, 2009, I was invited, after interview, to become the national lead for the rapid spread and adoption of enhanced recovery principles through the whole of the National Health Service, but predominantly in England. And as a result of that, because it was hugely successful, I became completely convinced that enhanced recovery is the right way to look after patients. It's become a standard of care since 2012 in the UK.
Yeah. So I actually met you several years ago, a couple of years ago now, and I was introduced to enhanced recovery myself because of you visiting us. So not only were you spreading the word and helping to promote adoption in your own country, you have really made it your mission to come over and spread the word, not just to the U.S., I know internationally as well. And a lot of us in the room probably have heard you speak about enhanced recovery. And so I want to thank you personally for introducing me to that as well, again, as like I said, to other people in the room. We have the technology here that we've talked about, Slido.com. If you haven't already, please pull your phones out and start asking questions today. And it's Slido.com, TMT, ASA 18. We'll go ahead and pull those up and start taking questions. Now, to all of you all listening at home, please, we encourage you to ask questions as well, and you can even put your name on it. We can give a little shout out to you as well. It'd be fun. And if anyone here in the audience does have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. We want to make sure that you have a mic, though, when you do ask that question. It won't be recorded and streamed, so please do that. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into our very first question. It's from me, Monty. How do you know that patients are on an enhanced recovery program or in the enhanced recovery pathway?
I wasn't anticipating that one. So if you do a job as a sort of national lead for a whole country program for enhanced recovery, you have to develop techniques to work out if people are talking enhanced recovery or walking enhanced recovery. And we learnt over time from site visits that the litmus test is how many patients are drinking, eating and mobilising within 24 hours of surgery. So if you go to an institution, you say, great, fantastic, you've got lovely posters, you've got made great T-shirts, it's all great, you've got, you're telling me you do enhanced recovery. Let's go and see the patients from yesterday. And if you go and see the patients from yesterday who've had major surgery, major colon surgery, whatever it is, and they are ideally dressed looking like human beings, not looking like the other prisoners, and they've already had breakfast and they've been for a walk, they're doing enhanced recovery. So our national standard, which we're not adhering at the moment, but our national standard in the UK that we try to adhere to, is 90% of all patients after all forms of major surgery drinking, eating and mobilising within 24 hours. And I mean all surgeries. That is real enhanced recovery.
Well, I know that, again, the compliance is a big issue, and we'll come back to that here in just a moment, and how to maintain compliance and maintain sustainability of a program, because you mentioned that. But let's go to my next question. What are the key elements of an enhanced recovery program?
Some of the enhanced recovery programs can end up with 30 different elements in them, 20 elements in them. And it was interesting, we both interviewed Professor Henrik Kellett yesterday morning, and he re-emphasised the fact that in his original enhanced recovery program, he only had 5 elements. Apart from the fact that he said make it procedure specific and form a team, there's only 5 big key elements. He says it's patient education and preparation, it's minimisation of stress, so in other words, if you can use laparoscopic surgery, that's great. It's multimodal analgesia with the avoidance of opioids. It's fluid management, and it's then getting the patients drinking, eating and mobilising. So it's just 5 simple major things. Now they're hard to do, and within each of those there are multiple elements that might add up to 30, but just get those 5 things done and concentrate on getting the patients to live the dream, drink, eat, mobilise. Keep an eye on your length of stay, keep an eye on safety issues, keep an eye on readmissions. Make sure that you're delivering quality, make sure that you're delivering value. But 5 key elements.
Yeah, we tend to, I think, whenever you start getting into the literature, think that you have to have all of the 24 to 30 or how many ever it is.
However you manage to get patients living the dream, drinking, eating, mobilising. There's one great program, that's all they did. They said our objective is to get our patients drinking, eating, mobilising within 24 hours. And then the natural energy of the whole team ended up doing what's described as an enhanced recovery program. That's all written up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, they kind of did the backwards.
Did it the backwards route.
Yeah.
They just said let's focus on the goal, and the rest of it works out organically.
Yeah, because if they're not doing those things,
if you haven't got, a prerequisite for enhanced recovery is world-class analgesia. Mm-hmm. If you've messed up the other bits, you can't drink, eat, mobilise. Once you drink, eat, mobilise, you're fixed, and you tend to stay fixed.
So I have one question. You did this huge implementation program back in 2008, 2009, and I just heard you say that you were having some issues with compliance. Now, that's something I personally actually have experienced in a program that I helped facilitate and implement. And that sustainability is a really difficult part when you talk about enhanced recovery. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're referring to?
If you get a group of people to write down what they're doing at the moment, you'll probably find they're doing 50-60% of enhanced recovery anyway, because it's largely speaking what we think we do most of the time. If you have a documented enhanced recovery program, you've got to have greater than 80% compliance with the pathway to get return on the investment. So if you write down, for example, that you're going to do a particular type of regional block in every patient, and you do it in 60% of patients, you've just wasted your time. If you do it in 90% of patients, you'll start to get a return on that investment. So it has to be high levels of compliance.
Top Med Talk. I mentioned at the start our back catalogue of over 300 podcasts. You can download all of these completely free today. TopMed Talk is committed to open source publishing and will remain so for all new material. As we continue to grow beyond our expectations in subscribers and engagement of thought leaders around the world, we will be diligently working to enhance the experience of our listeners by creating a back catalogue, a highly curated collection of our podcasts, advanced search options and special bonus features. This will be available through our new app at a fee. So we encourage you to download all of the podcasts right now. It's completely free through to the end of this month and contains some absolute classics from some of the greats. Enjoy.